The 2025 NBA draft this year was pretty crazy. It was packed with possible future stars from Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, and of course the #1 pick, Cooper Flagg. Then there were some other guys who were really high on my board, not to get drafted, but just guys that I thought have a super high ceiling, like Walter Clayton Jr. and Jace Richardson. And I thought, if you ask me, a lot of different teams won the draft this year. I mean, you have the Nets, got like 5 first-round picks. You have the Jazz, who ended up with Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton Jr. And then, of course, Dallas, who ends up with the #1 pick, Cooper Flagg, to go along with already Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. But to me, there's one team who secretly won the draft, and this team should be much happier than any other organization in the NBA. That is the Philadelphia 76ers. With number 3, the 76ers took possibly one of the best athletes in this draft class at just 19 years old, VJ Edgecombe. This guy out of Baylor is an absolute beast. He's definitely got one of the highest ceilings in this whole entire draft. Last year at Baylor, he averaged 15 points per game in just his freshman year, and what makes him so special at his age of just 19 is he set the freshman Baylor record with 68 steals in a season. His defense is unlike any other in this class, I believe. He's a younger, tenacious competitor who will make life hard for other teams' offense and will make them pay with his offense. To me, it's exactly what the Sixers need this year. I mean, let's not already forget how stacked that this Philly team is right now, with Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid. Quentin Grimes played like a dog last year, and they got Jared McCain, who probably would have won Rookie of the Year if it wasn't for that season-ending injury. And now you add number 3 overall pick out of Baylor, VJ Edgecombe? Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Especially with a weaker Eastern Conference next year because of all of the injuries that just occurred. This team looks prepared for a deep playoff run next year. So with all that said, you would probably think that that's all that I have to say. And it would be, if it wasn't for who the 76ers would later draft in the second round.
The Philadelphia 76ers select Johni Broome from Auburn University.
Look, everybody else can say whatever they want, but to me, Johni Broome is the steal of the 2025 draft. Johni Broome was the dude in the second round that I was most excited for, and I was like, whoever gets this guy is going to be happy with the results. And when I heard the 76ers draft him, I even went over and texted my friend who knows ball, like knows ball, and even he knew that this would be dangerous for the rest of the league. And for everybody who doesn't know much about Johni Broome, let me introduce you.
Broome to make a move again, another 3 on the way, and he got it!
In Johni Broome's final year at Auburn last season, he averaged 18.6 points on 51 field goal percentage, 11 rebounds, along with 2 blocks per game. He led Auburn to the Final Four of the NCAA tournament this year while injured, and he also won SEC Player of the Year. And not to mention the icing on the cake, Auburn legend and NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley called Johni Broome, quote, the greatest Auburn player of all time. Now I know, sometimes Chuck doesn't say the best things, but considering he is one of the greatest Auburn players ever and an NBA Hall of Famer, this statement is pretty undeniable. But moving on to where Johni Broome fits for this year, I think he'll fit right in. Unless the 76ers sign a big man, which they might if money allows, considering their backup right now is Andre Drummond or even Yabusele, we might actually see Broome on the court next year. Now I know Joel Embiid, but let's not act like he's going to play all 82 games. On nights when Embiid or the Sixers feel that he needs rest, they could definitely throw Johni right into that lineup. He's a guy who can just gel like that. And they can throw him in behind Drummond at the 5 or behind Yabusele at the 4. I'm also not going to act like Broome is already as good as he could be with a couple of years of development down the line. So let's say he doesn't make the lineup for much of the year. The Sixers still pan out incredibly well compared to many other teams. They're looking like how the Pacers did this last postseason, just like the deepest team in the league. Their starting five would probably be Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain or Quentin Grimes, Paul George, Gershon Yabusele, and MVP Joel Embiid. That is a stacked team already, and we haven't even gotten into what their bench would be. You got coming off the bench would be probably Quentin Grimes, VJ Edgecombe. They just re-signed Justin Edwards, so he would be coming off the bench. They got Andre Drummond, and then the 10th or 11th man would either probably be Kelly Oubre, Janai Broome, Kyle Lowry, or Ricky Council. They all have great chances to make the team this year. I know the 76ers have had this kind of hype before, and it's just died out like last year, right? But to me, they look like the most dominant team in basketball right now, and only time will tell. But I feel like even after the Kevin Durant trade to Houston, or the Mavs getting Cooper Flagg to beef up that offense and defense even more, or the Thunder looking like the 2015 Warriors ready to start a dynasty, the 76ers are still in a prime position to steal this 2026 NBA championship after what was an abysmal campaign last year, just like they stole some of the top picks in the draft this year. And honestly, even though Sixers fans might not want to hear this, this is probably the very last chance at the Joel Embiid process actually working. This team could not be in a better spot. I mean, the Eastern Conference has just collapsed this postseason to injuries. Tatum, Halliburton, and Damian Lillard all went down with torn Achilles in the same playoffs. How does that happen? I don't know. But next year's wide open for the rest of the Eastern Conference, like the New York Knicks, the Cavs, and even the Orlando Magic, and the Pistons, which is crazy to say, but also to add to that list, of course, the Philadelphia 76ers. Unfortunately for the Sixers, this year is kind of a make or break season where if they don't win now, I'm not sure if they're going to win for a little while after this year. But if this team can stay healthy, if they can play defense, and if Paul George can play at a more productive level than he did last year and actually bring something good to this basketball team, they are easily top contenders to make it and win the NBA championship next year. But either way, whether they sell or not, I think the Philadelphia 76ers will be a must-watch team and a great story for next season. All in all, I really like how this 76ers team is panning out for this upcoming season. And honestly, out of every team, East and West, I believe this team has the most potential to win. But a big thing that makes them so interesting is that they have the most at stake if they lose. Is Joel Embiid 33 or 34? Yeah, that one's my bad. For some reason, I thought this dude was like 34 years old. It feels like he is because of all the injuries, but that was pretty much the point that I was trying to make. This dude is already super injury prone, so yeah, that's why it feels like a make or break season. They don't have many chances after this. This is make or break. But I feel like that is also what makes this Philadelphia 76ers team, while being so stacked, while having such a high upside, that stake of if they lose, I think will push them to win. And that is why I believe the Philadelphia 76ers post-2025 NBA draft are the most dangerous team in the NBA.